Once upon a gentle dawn, in the heart of Clover Cloud Meadow, lived Benny the Bunny, a sleek, snowy white rabbit with a coat so clean and bright it seemed to shimmer like freshly fallen snow. Every morning, Benny would wake in his tidy burrow, slip on his snug, sky-blue vest with its tiny brass buttons, and carefully tie his soft, crimson scarf around his neck. His large, velvety ears stood tall, though one tip always bent just so, especially when he was curious, which, for Benny, was almost all the time. On this particular morning, the meadow was awash in golden sunlight, and the grass sparkled with beads of dew. Benny twitched his fluffy tail, like a little cotton puff, and wiggled his dainty, pink-padded paws at the burrow entrance. The air smelled sweet, like wildflowers and fresh grass. "What a perfect day for a hop!" Benny declared, emerald eyes shining with anticipation. Benny bounded out into the open, feeling the wind ruffle his fur and flutter the ends of his crimson scarf. Suddenly, the sky darkened with a passing shower. But just as quickly as the rain began, it melted away to reveal the brightest, most spectacular rainbow Benny had ever seen, arching from one corner of the meadow to the other. The colors stretched like a ribbon in the sky. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Benny stood still, ears quivering in wonder. He had never seen a rainbow so close before. The golden sunlight danced through the colors, painting the world in brilliant hues. "Oh, how magical!" Benny exclaimed. He felt a tickle of excitement in his heart. With a brave twitch of his nose, he took a few hops closer. The rainbow seemed to shimmer, almost inviting him. Then Benny noticed something extraordinary. At one end of the rainbow, a soft path of shimmering light spilled onto the grass, making a doorway just large enough for a bunny to slip through. Benny's heart beat fast with curiosity. Adjusting his scarf and making sure his blue vest was buttoned up just right, he decided, today is not just a day for a hop, but a day for an adventure. With one final wiggly twitch of his tail, Benny took a deep breath and bounded straight through the glowing rainbow arch. The colors wrapped around him like a cozy blanket, and for a moment, Benny felt all fizzy and floaty, almost as if he were made of sunshine himself. When he popped out the other side, Benny found himself standing in a world unlike any he had ever seen. The meadow was brighter, the flowers twice as big, and shaped like stars, bells, and even tiny teacups. A sparkling, crystal-clear stream sang a gentle song as it wound through the grass. Fruit trees, striped in rainbow colors, dotted the landscape, and curious creatures played beneath their branches. Benny's emerald eyes grew round with astonishment. He looked down and saw that even his own white fur seemed to glow with a soft, magical light. His scarf fluttered in a breeze that smelled of peppermint and honey. "Welcome to Rainbow World," chirped a cheerful voice nearby. Benny turned to see a bright green frog with golden spots and a silly lopsided crown atop his head. The frog bowed grandly. "I'm King Hopsalot," he said, "guardian of Rainbow World." Benny giggled, bobbing his ears in a polite hello. "I'm Benny," he replied. "I followed the magical rainbow. This place is amazing." King Hopsalot grinned, his crown tilting even further. Every day in Rainbow World is filled with magical surprises. Would you like to explore with me? "Yes, please," Benny beamed. The two set off together. They hopped past enormous buttercup blossoms where fairy flies danced and giggled. Every step they took, the grass hummed with rainbow sparkles. Benny couldn't help but giggle as the cool wind tickled his fur and the warm sun made his coat shine even whiter. Along the way, they met a golden canary named Leela, who wore a tiny pair of emerald glasses and loved to read poems to anyone who would listen. Leela fluttered down from a blossom and greeted Benny with a cheerful, "Chirp, chirp! Hello, visitor!" Benny admired Leela's sparkling feathers and asked, "Do you live here too?" Lila chirped, "Oh yes, Rainbow World is my home. Every day is an adventure, a new rhyme to discover, a new friend to meet." King Hopsalot explained, "But today we have a little mystery." Benny's ears perked up, the bent ear tip wiggled with excitement. "A mystery?" Lila nodded, pulling a tiny notebook from under her wing. All the colors in Rainbow World seem to be fading. The flowers are not quite as bright, and even my feathers feel a little dull. "Oh dear," Benny gasped, looking at the world around him. It was still dazzling, but he could see it too. The brilliant reds were a bit less fiery, the blues not quite as deep. King Hopsalot gave a proud ribbit. "We have been searching for the rainbow crystal, which keeps our world colorful, but it went missing this morning." Annie felt a swell of courage. "I'd love to help. I have very sharp eyes for finding hidden things," he said, patting the secret inner pockets of his vest. "Splendid," sang Lila, twirling in the air. The three friends began searching. Benny sniffed high and low, peering under petals and behind sparkly stones. King Hopsalot leaped to the treetops, and Lila scanned from above with her bright canary eyes. They came upon a small, sad ladybug named Dottie, sitting alone on a drooping daisy. Her red shell had gone almost pink. "Dottie, have you seen the rainbow crystal?" King Hopsalot asked kindly. Dottie shook her tiny head. "I haven't, but I heard a tinkling noise by the stream. Maybe you should look there." "Thank you," Benny said, giving Dottie a comforting smile. The friends hurried to the sparkling stream. Benny listened carefully, his ears pointing this way and that. Behind a cluster of shimmering bluebells, Benny heard a soft, tinkly sound, just as Dottie had mentioned. He bravely peeked under a mossy stone and gasped with delight. There, nestled among the pebbles, was a crystal that glowed with every color of the rainbow. But it was tangled up with a grumpy little squirrel who looked startled to see Benny. "Oh, my whiskers!" exclaimed Benny, hopping over. "Are you all right, Mr. Squirrel?" The squirrel's bushy tail stood straight up. "I found this shiny thing and wanted to polish it from my collection, but now it won't budge." King Hopsalot hopped over with a gentle voice. "That's no ordinary crystal, that's our rainbow crystal. It keeps Rainbow World bright and magical." Leela perched by the squirrel's side. "If we help you untangle your tail and return the crystal, everyone will feel bright and colorful again." The squirrel's grumpiness melted away. "Oh, I didn't know. Please help me." Benny used his dainty but strong paws to carefully loosen the tangled tail from the crystal, all while Leela sang a cheerful tune. King Hopsalot steadied the stone with a careful hop. With a gentle tug, the crystal slipped free and the squirrel's tail sprang loose like a coiled spring. Benny gently handed the rainbow crystal to King Hopsalot, who placed it back on the middle of a nearby stone circle. Instantly, the colors in Rainbow World grew bright and dazzling again. The sky flashed with sparkling stars. The flowers stood tall, their petals shining in every color. Leela's golden feathers glowed. Dotty's shell sparkled red as cherries, and even the squirrel's brown fur shimmered with life. Everyone cheered. The squirrel thanked Benny and the others, promising to always ask before borrowing sparkly things again. King Hopsalot grinned at Benny. "Thank you, friend. You have clever eyes and a kind heart. Rainbow World will always welcome you." Benny smiled shyly, his fluffy tail twitching with happiness. He felt warm and proud to have helped. But soon, Benny waved goodbye to Leela, King Hopsalot, Dotty, and the other magical creatures, feeling the familiar tickle of adventure satisfied. As he hopped back towards the glowing rainbow's edge, he looked back one last time. The friends cheered and waved, their colors shining as bright as the morning sun. Stepping through the rainbow again, Benny felt the warmth and colors swirl around him. He arrived back in Clovercloud Meadow, where the air still smelled of wildflowers and grass. The rainbow in the sky gave one final sparkling wink before it faded. Then he twitched his nose and checked his vest, still meat, and straightened his scarf. He felt happier than ever, knowing he had made new friends, solved a magical mystery, and saved a world of color. All because he was brave enough to follow his curiosity. From that day on, whenever a rainbow stretched across the sky, Benny would pause, his emerald eyes twinkling, and remember his wonderful adventure in Rainbow World. He knew the most magical journeys often began with a single, brave hop, and the brightest colors could always be found when you help friends and believe in yourself. And so, with his heart aglow and tail a twitch, Benny the bunny bounced home, ready to share his story and to greet the next adventure with an open heart.